Hello. Welcome to Tech Ascent, the podcast where we dive into the trends, strategies, and success stories that are reshaping the tech landscape as we know it today. I'm your host, Oliver Clingain. I'm also the founder of Ascenxion, the premier biz development partner within tech. Today, joined by Matthew Martorano, the founder and CEO of Checkout Champ. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Oliver. Appreciate it.
It's great to have you on. It's great to meet you. Would you mind telling the audience a little bit about what you do with Checkout Champ as well as yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So Checkout Champ is an e-commerce performance enablement platform. And what does that mean? We allow brands, usually larger brands, to scale and grow their business the way that they choose without constraint, without putting them into a walled garden and having them try to figure out, how to make minor manipulations. We let them grow like crazy. So we believe in bringing the best tools and the best technology to e-commerce so that our clients can scale beyond anything they ever dreamed.
Awesome. Now, obviously, Matthew, being the founder of this company, what kind of gap in the market did you see? What made you want to kick this off?
Well, there were some major gaping holes in e-commerce where I think for years people were taught you just go pick a theme or have someone build a theme for you and start putting your products on there, and then start running a little SEO and some Facebook traffic and try to drive traffic to these sites so that you hope that people will buy. That is not the best strategy, especially when you look at average conversion rates. If the conversion rate is between 2 and 3%, that's not that great. Where if branded merchants will do things the right way, like those on our platform, they're experiencing anywhere between 25 to 35% conversion rates with paid traffic directly to their sales sites. That's a huge gap, right? If you go from 3 to 30, that's a 10 times increase. And most of our clients right out of the gate will experience anywhere between a 4 and 10 time increase in sales conversion without really changing much of anything.
Mm-hmm. And without sharing the secret sauce of the platform, well, why do you think that is?
Well, I think everything that if we were to back up 20 years, I came from the direct-to-consumer marketing arena, and I know what it takes to drive conversion rates. Speed is obviously one of them. The technology just has to be bulletproof. And for years, these branded merchants were trying to build their own websites externally and then trying to hook it up to API endpoints. And then, some of the big companies came along, like the Shopifys and BigCommerce and WooCommerce. And, those were nice tools. It made it a little bit simpler to launch a branded product. But again, there's a lot of limitations when you look at the big CMS platforms, where our system, Checkout Champ, has a full CRM technology on the back end that allows clients to go cross-border, process any transaction, stack products, bundle products, do discounts based on bundles. And not only do we allow them or give them, I hate using the word allow, right? It's like your parents allowing you to do something, give them the capabilities to build their own customized websites for their branded products. But the technology is so easy that we call it gramification. It's so easy your grandmother could go in and build a site. They take their top selling products and create single product sales pages, and our system suggests to them what the most logical next product will be in that upsell flow. And if there is an opportunity to build in a subscription to create monthly recurring revenue, my team is very good at identifying those opportunities and presenting those to our clients to really help them grow their revenue, grow their business.
Very cool. And how long have you guys been around?
So Checkout Champ has been around for the last 4 years, and we've made a pretty big impact in e-com in those last 4 years. We've been around as a CRM technology for the last, since 2010, so 15 years. And we've learned a lot. Mm-hmm. We learned a lot. We learned how to really deliver the right technology to our clients to give them the tools they need to scale.
Yeah, awesome.
A great example of that would be if you look at just our gateway integrations. We're integrated to over 270 gateways from around the world. I don't know of any platform who has as many as we do.
Yeah. No, that's massive. And over the last 4 years, there's obviously been a lot of technological shifts. We'll avoid the AI rabbit hole, but address the elephant in the room. AI has been massive. How has the kind of competitive landscape changed from your industry, your niche?
Well, I would say that the 1,000-pound gorilla is obviously Shopify. They're awesome at what they do. We love what they do. We're big fans of the Shopify environment, but again, they've built kind of a walled garden that prohibits their clients from growing the way that they should or want to. And we come along with technology that fills those gaps and gives the merchants, the brands, ultimate control and dominion over the way they scale. The way the landscape has changed, it's become more competitive. You see more brands popping up. You see Facebook ads are getting more expensive. Everything's getting more expensive across the board. Product fulfillment, product shipping. Now with tariffs and changes that are coming down on de minimis and the product costs kind of changing from where you're receiving those items from, it will have an impact, obviously. But I think with this, the current administration, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, when you look at an administration who is about deregulation and is about driving more business into our country, they love small business. That's the whole point. I think that e-commerce is going to explode over the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, you look at the trends from where it was just in 2018, then we went through COVID, and it really, shot off like a rocket. And it's an interesting time, to be sure.
Yeah. And Matthew, how are you guys kind of positioning yourselves to be at the forefront of that explosion?
Well, so this is just a simple business philosophy. Talk to your clients. We have thousands of clients, and we talk to them all the time, and we ask them, what is it that you need? What are your challenges? What are some of your roadblocks right now? And technology is great because you can pretty much build a solution for anything if you have the right team in place. We just solve the problems that people are faced with. And in a lot of cases, it is, how do I go cross-border? How do I do dynamic currency conversion without being charged, additional penalties and fees and assessments for that conversion? It's just, it's easy stuff that if you put the right minds and the right talent behind it, it's pretty simple to solve.
No doubt. And being an entrepreneur, obviously dating back to many years ago, prior to the 4 years where you've been in e-commerce, with that prospect education, prospect awareness, but then also utilizing that customer feedback, is that something that's kind of played a big role? Where does that kind of fall into how it's helped you grow?
It is a pretty big role. We as a team, we do follow the trends within our industry of e-commerce and direct-to-consumer, and we're very good at creating and coming up with solutions that we think are going to make our entire universe stronger, our universe of clients. So from product creation, we're fantastic, but the voices of our clients and understanding where they're struggling is really how it could be just a basic report. Like, what are you missing? Oh, I think I'm getting a lot of fraud. Well, why aren't you looking at this report? Is there something we can add here to these analytics that would help you quickly identify that something's wrong? Right. So yeah, feedback from our clients is a big piece of what we do.
Yeah, no, awesome. And I feel like that's something that gets overlooked a lot across the tech space, is people will build out these products to these solutions they think they solve, when in reality the customers don't agree, and so they're left kind of stranded, left hanging.
Well, I wish Microsoft would have done that. They're forcing everyone to go to Teams, and I can't figure it out. It's so
It's a tough one.
Fragmented. Just make it easy.
Yeah. It's always a little complication, and especially nowadays with, obviously, like we said, somehow we keep getting drawn back to the AI, but a lot of companies are just popping up. They think they've got to use AI rather than kind of solve a problem. And maybe AI is the way to get there, maybe it's not, but they're implementing AI, building out AI protocols, and they're trying to solve problems that might not exist. So it sounds like.
And I agree with you. And I think what's sad is people are just trying to build any type of AI technology because they think it's going to increase the value of their company, but it's really not going to accomplish anything. Why not really think about, okay, how can I use this wonderful technology that's out there to solve a problem for my clients that either reduces expenses or increases revenue, right? Because that's what business is about.
Yeah. You got to be a problem solver, not a solution provider, I guess. There's a difference. It's nuanced, but there's a difference. And Matthew, dating back to your early entrepreneurial days, before Checkout Champ, what was life looking like?
Oh, I had, I was in sales. I worked with a company. I was vice president of sales for a company. We created the very first credit card rewards programs. We were selling different types of membership club services. From there, I started my own product companies, and we were selling products and driving them into a call center that I built in Chicago. And that's really where the understanding of what a business really needs to sell product direct to consumer. And so we started creating the technology off of that. So that's where I originally came up with the idea for a CRM technology for the masses.
Super interesting. And along this journey, what do you think is kind of the, I guess, biggest lesson you've learned as an entrepreneur that's kind of maybe helped you in your day-to-day, or biggest challenge you faced which taught you that lesson? Do you have any stories along those?
Well, a couple of things that I will just quickly explain is I never wanted to take a dollar from anyone. So we've grown our company totally bootstrapped from the bottom up. And what that's done is that it allowed us to learn how to grow more efficiently, right? Do more with less. I think young entrepreneurs are so eager to take that first, seed money and, try to figure out how to grow the company, where if you do it methodically and you understand what the next, I would call them benchmarks would be for growth within your company, you can do it without having to raise capital. Because the moment you take money from somebody, they own you.
Yeah. There's levels.
The other thing I would talk about is, everyone's heard this philosophy, right? Hiring slow, firing fast. It is as true as can be. I just had the CEO of a big bank I was meeting with out in Las Vegas at a conference tell me, Matt, every time I hire the right person, it gives me 10 more minutes back to my day. And so if I keep filling that up, I'm going to go from 18-hour work weeks or 18-hour days down to eventually 12-hour days, 10-hour, 8-hour days, because I have the right people in place to do the things that I need them to do. The other thing that I'll tell you that I learned, because as an entrepreneur, you almost want to wear, or you have to wear, every single hat within the company, right? From marketing to sales to support to just everything. Do the things that you enjoy doing and that you're good at. And even if you're good at something, you may hate doing it, right? You may be a great bookkeeper, but you hate doing it. If you hate doing it, hire that out. Focus on the things that you're great at and you enjoy doing on a daily basis, and everything else, start hiring that out as quickly as you can.
And over the years of you hiring, you building the company, do you have any, of course, hire slow, fire fast, do you have any other kind of philosophies in the day-to-day or nuances you look for in the hiring process?
Yeah, well, in the hiring process, there's a couple of things, and I actually got this from a friend of mine many, many years ago, because you're spending money on these ads to bring people in, even for interviews. And the first thing you want to identify is, are they willing to commute, right? What's your distance from your house here, and are you willing to drive every day? And then another question that we ask is, our clients, something can go wrong 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Saturday morning at 3 o'clock a.m., are you willing to pick up the phone and solve a problem? If they really make them think about it, if the answer is, I don't think I'm willing to do that. Okay, well, you're not the right person for the job. But when we do hire somebody, going through an in-depth training process to help them understand your culture, all of the processes, I think it's incredibly important for a new hire to really buy into what are the goals of the company, right? And usually that's who's your common enemy. Normally it's a competitor. This is the common enemy that we go after, and here's why we need to build that technology. It tends to work. We also treat everyone very fairly when we bring them in. We want to compensate our employees for the work that they do and make them feel like they are a part of a team, not just a number on a paycheck.
Yeah. And that's something I've picked up on. Is I come from a background in sports, so it was always throughout the locker room culture, we'll call it, no matter what role you play on it, whether you're a star player or end of the bench, you're still contributing to the team in one way or another, and that's kind of the mindset you've got to build with a company as well.
Well, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I'm a big fan of goal setting your goals. And I will sit down with the employees periodically, and I'll do what I refer to as not interviews, but interviews, INNER views, just to learn about them. Where do you come from? What's your background? Do you have any brothers or sisters? How's your family? Are you married? Do you have kids? I just want to know, what do you like to do on the weekends? Are you a fan of baseball or football? Or, these are types of things where if you start asking these questions, it makes the employee feel like they're important to you, which they are. But in a lot of cases, the boss doesn't ask these types of questions. They're like, just here are the tasks, get to work, let me know when it's going to be done. Where I think if an employee feels like they're truly a part of the team, they'll give more. They'll give more. And then going to the goal setting, I always, every Christmas, say, okay, did you reach your goals for the year? I'll sit down with all of them. All right, tell me what your 2024 goal was. Did you achieve that goal? Yes or no? It doesn't matter if you did or you didn't. If you did, great. If you didn't, why? What were the setbacks? Was it something that I couldn't provide to you, like as a piece of equipment or a piece of software, or support that you needed? And not just business goals, but what are also your personal goals? Do you want to eliminate all your debt? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to go on vacation to Rome? Like, what are those? Let me understand what your goals are so I can help you achieve them.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And how do you, about going as a founder, CEO, entrepreneur, how do you go about setting your own goals, both on personal and business?
Well, number one rule. Everyone listening? Your goal is not real unless you write it down.
It's big time.
And so my goals, the way I look at them, I break them down into quarters, years. So quarters, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. Like if there are new technologies that I want to launch that are going to improve the overall environment for our clients, those are usually my quarterly goals. My annual goals is usually where do I want to be in terms of new client onboardings and revenue. 3 year goals, 5 year goals is it usually falls into personal. Like would I like to be retired in 5 years? Yeah, I think that would be great. Spend more time with the family. So that's kind of how I break it down.
Awesome. And was that something you read somewhere? Was that something you learned over time?
That was
how do you find that mindset shift?
I had a couple of NCOs that when I was in the Army in my late teens, early 20s, that were very big on goal setting, and it's just stuck with me.
Awesome. And over the years of you building the business, is there any other sort of resources that you accredit some of the lessons you've learned? Have you ever had a mentor, or any good books, any podcasts you listen to?
I haven't. And one time I went to a conference. I was asked to sit on this board, and I looked to this older gentleman across the table who I've known, but not really well. But I knew he was successful, and I walked over to him. I said, "John, hey, I really appreciate what you do, and I would like to ask you if you'd be my mentor." He says, "Matt, I was going to ask you to be mine." So it was kind of a weird way that he spun it on me, but I look at in any circumstance, right, from school to military to work, there's good leaders and bad leaders. So I always looked at what were the attributes of the good leaders and the bad leaders, and what did I want to bring into my own personality when I was, either leading a team or leading a company. those were some of the biggest lessons, like how to win a piece of business that looks almost unachievable. Well, nothing's unachievable if you approach it in the right way, right? So, yeah, hopefully that answered your question. It seemed like I kind of went off on a whole
No,
360.
all good. Matt, we've been having a great conversation so far. Looking forward, I know we've talked a lot about your past. Looking forward, what's kind of the goals for Checkout Champ? What's on the horizon for this year?
So every year we try to double in revenue, and we've exceeded that every year. So for me, my goal setting is set realistic goals and always surpass them. Every year we've doubled in growth, and I think this year we're going to more than achieve that. And then next year, the problem with that is, as you know, is the larger you get, the harder it is to keep doubling.
Compounding.
But to compound like that, you have to keep building the right technology, build the right reputation, because in business, reputation is everything. And I think if the market, so we look at like what's the total addressable market, everyone calls it the TAM, right? If you fall into a category where the TAM is almost blue ocean, it does create opportunities where you could conceivably double every year until you get to that point where it starts to flatten out. But I don't think we're at that point yet. I think we have hundreds of millions of dollars in gross revenue to go.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. And it sounds like from the conversation alone that you've got the knowledge to make it happen. I'm sure you guys will get there.
I do, but what I do have is a really impressive team. Smart people who understand the goals, and we're all always pulling in the same direction. The other thing that I want to mention, if people are really listening to this and they want to take something away, do a management meeting every Monday morning, because everyone has had a weekend to think about it. They've wrapped up their week. Fridays, they don't want to think about anything but going home and cracking a beer, going to the beach, or doing whatever they do, golfing. Monday mornings, I find that running a management meeting from 9 or 10 a.m. to noon and having all of the senior management people there bringing the information from their team so that everyone departmentally knows what's happening within the company is a very easy way to stay on top of any issues that might be occurring. Everyone can participate in the problem-solving process, and it just keeps everyone aligned with where you're going as a company.
No, I love that. And sorry to pick your brain again, but with those meetings, do you have any unique strategies within those? I know recently I heard a story that Jeff Bezos does something similar with Amazon, but he's always the last person to speak. So he lets everybody kind of speak, doesn't want to put his input in because then it might change some people's opinion. Do you have any kind of unique strategies in these meetings, how you run them?
I do. So what I'll do is I have just an Excel spreadsheet of all the major items that are important to me and to the rest of the company, like things we want to get done where everyone needs a status. So I run through that list, and if, I don't know, Tom or Todd says, oh yeah, this has been accomplished, everyone gets to see me eliminate that from the list, right? We're like, yeah, hell yeah.
Small win.
And then once we get to that list, as we're going item by item, it opens up dialogue. So everyone can participate and give their thoughts, statuses, whatever it might be. And I like that. I like the open dialogue of the office. I also like the fact that once I'm done, then I turn it over to the sales team, because everyone relies on sales to bring the revenue in. I want to hear what they're doing first, right? And then I go through the client services team, because they are the voice of our customer. They are the ones that are hearing all the feedback. They're going through any tickets or open issues, and then we bring it around to the development team, or HR, and some of the other groups will participate if any holidays are coming up or there's anniversaries or whatever it might be. And then we'll bring it around to the technology group, and then that's how we wrap it up.
Awesome. No, I might have to steal that for myself. I like that strategy.
That's good. I just like people talking, and we solve a lot of problems that way. And I always tell them, I'm not going to give you the best. I'm going to give you an answer. I'm not going to give you the best answer. Usually I'm right, but it's not always the perfect way to do something. And so I look for feedback.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And it sounds like it's proven successful thus far. So
it works.
No, awesome. Matt, well, we can begin the wrap up here, but I truly appreciate you coming on, dropping some wisdom you've learned over the years of being an entrepreneur. What you guys are doing with Checkout Champ sounds like you guys have built something great. It's only going to get greater. So once again, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And for everybody listening, I'll be sure to tag Matthew down in the description. You can check out his LinkedIn. Be sure to tag Checkout Champ. You can go check him out as well. But Matthew, one last time, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for watching this.